Yo, 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 back in this bitch for part three. Free your bitch ass. Let me get my homies in first, you know what I'm saying? What's up? I gotta ride with these dogs up the whole time, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so part three. At first, I was just gonna leave it as a two-parter because I thought my rant was over. Or, not my rant, my talk. But it wasn't over really. Because you know how you hang up the phone and you still have more shit to say to your girlfriend. That was this kind of shit just now. So I'll come up with a part three. But part three, oh damn, evil BB-8 said he gotta take a break. So part three, check this out. I've named a bunch of different movies about with like a similar outcome, right? And I name, like what I named Black Panther. But a lot of times we look at these movies and we wonder, like, how did they know this was gonna happen or whatever, whatever. But once you figure out who these directors are and shit like that, and what they're connected to and who they're connected to, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But just for the time being, let's just say here's what we got. So I told you about these movies earlier, and they were showing, different stuff like let's say Black Panther, for example. That's the easiest one to remember. Black Panther had the vibranium underground. Um, he was an African king who chose to sell out his American cousins, who we are his American cousins, to sell his vibranium, his power, his money, his wealth, his everything for his country. They made you in that movie think that it's cool to sell out to the one world establishment, the one world government, pretty much. And that's what Black Panther was for. And Black Panther was kind of, it was even worse because it made us, it like the world, right? The world, it showed you how the world thinks of you, African Americans. They showed you that they think you're like Killmonger, just a wild dude who's about killing and you know can't be trusted no matter what. Black Panther, that's Black Panther's cousin, because we of African Americans are partially of African descent. We are the cousins to the kings over there right now. So he sold out to the world establishment his strength, and he killed his African American cousin and had the technology to save his life, but chose not to save his life because the message was fuck the Americans. And we sucked it up. We loved it because we don't understand Disney magic, and we didn't know that they were just fucking playing a trick on us. And black people just, we don't be knowing that much shit. Not that we be struggling, let's just put it that way. Next, there's one good movie that you can talk about that really focuses on this. No, another movie I'm gonna throw in before that. I'm gonna throw in Avatar. Avatar, remember, there was a huge government agency like the US military going to Africa, which was supposed to be Africa, looking for a rock, what was called unobtainium. Unobtainium was the most precious fucking thing on the planet, and it was under this tribal region in Africa. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Like, does that fucking sound familiar? Um, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, Africa, being ravaged by the Empire, so they cutting down all the trees and doing genetic modification on the inhabitants of Middle Earth. Does it sound familiar to anybody? I'm still gonna keep going, because there's a movie right now that fucking, and you know, hold on real quick. You know what's funny about Avatar? Avatar used a white dude to go jump in one of the natives' body and try to trick them into getting off their land. So basically, he used a white dude to get in blackface to try to trick the natives off their land. Why? Because everybody that sells out in Africa, the people that goes to him, the king that T'Challa that goes to him, they showed it in the movie. It was the CIA that went to them. It was those white dudes. But that's not how they do it. They send a black dude that represents the white dudes, and the black dude gets his friendship with the king, and then he makes him sell out. It's what they were doing in Avatar. That's why they made him get into that body of the natives, so the natives will be comfortable with him, and he don't look like a white military dude, because they wouldn't sell out to a white military dude. And what was the big argument in that movie? Find a way to get those natives to sell out, whether it's whatever you got to do, find a way, or we're going in with the military. In real life, who was that? Fucking Akon. Blackface. Akon went in there, had the Africans sell out to the Chinese because the Chinese promised them lights and light poles. Oh yeah, we want some lights and light poles. We're gonna sell you all of our land. And now the Chinese just ravage their fucking land and treating them like slaves, and they don't get a benefit of the shit that they did. Sounds like Avatar. Sound familiar? But another movie that really focuses on some shit that we're going through today, Manchurian Candidate. Manchurian Candidate. And the one with Denzel was cool, but look at the one with fucking the original one. The black and white one. Watch this. There's a scene in that movie. It shows how all these Eastern countries got together and brainwashed, basically got some POWs, prisoners of war, Americans, brainwashed them with technology to fucking go back and kill the president of the United States. Does that not sound familiar? Let me explain. It's not no physical go back and kill the president, but look at this. So we're finding these Chinese scientists and professors, the FBI is finding them, that were still members of like Chinese military movements in Asia, and they're in America, right? It's called like a sleeper cell. But look at what the movie Manchurian Candidate, and that's what I'm trying to say. Some of these movies be trying to tell you, not all movies are that Illuminati shit. Some movies are trying to tell you, some trying to warn you. So Manchuria is a place in China that got these POWs, and through technology, they brainwashed them to go be a fucking assassin in America. But look how that shit is real life. These people in the schools, they work. There's been one at what I can't. It must have been Harvard or something. And there's more. There's probably a lot of them in Chicago school systems, and you know about Bill Ayers and the Weather Underground. They're also professors in American school systems, and they were bombing America also from the inside. But that's what Manchurian Candidate is about. How could we brainwash American citizens to destroy their country from the inside? Because nobody can beat us from the outside. Our military is too strong. So how do they do it from the inside? What's an easy way for them to do it inside now is through technology, because they can just brainwash you, just like they did in the movie. There's a scene in Manchurian Candidate where it had everybody, all the POWs sitting down in a viewing room, and it had Asia, it had India, it had all these other countries over on the east who was just tired of America. tired of America, and they wanted to destroy America, right? So they were all watching, and I put this in my Go Deep before, but they were all watching these POWs who thought they were in a flower shop. And they thought the man talking to them was a lady in a flower shop. But their mind was scrambled and they were fucking brainwashed. So they were like, they were showing that here's how we can brainwash US citizens. We have technology that can do it. And they were brainwashed. They were sitting there thinking they were in a flower shop, but they were also actually being viewed by all these Eastern military leaders or generals and shit like that. So then the guy was like, all right, that's cool. You can brainwash them, but let me see, can you actually do some work? And he made one guy go choke his other captain out, or lieutenant or squad leader or whatever. He made him choke him to death just by brainwash. This was in the movie in the 60s. It's black and white, called Manchurian Candidate. Later Denzel was in it, and what the Denzel's remake was, these boys who were in the first Gulf War, the first Iraqi war, got caught, and they were prisoners of war, and they got found where the government was experimenting on them with like mind control warfare, like MK Ultra shit. If you watch my show, you already know what MK Ultra is. It's more fucking technological brainwashing shit with technology, which probably MK Ultra was probably the beginning of all this satellite testing on human bodies and shit like that. And if you don't believe they will test on a human body or on a live human or whatever, they will test. Just look up the Tuskegee experiment. But anyway, Manchurian Candidate with Denzel. Denzel had been tested on, and he was brainwashed to be a part of he helped brainwash, or you gotta watch it. He was a squad leader, and the dude in his squad was bred to be president. But also, he was bred to be like, somebody else in the squad was bred to kill him or shoot him. I think that was Denzel. I haven't seen that anyway in a while. But everybody in that squad was brainwashed. And one of them in that squad was brainwashed to assassinate him through the Iraqi war. But it was the Manchurian Candidate. It was, a remake of the original movie. But basically what it's saying is, through technology, these cell phones, these satellites, these cell phone antennas, we could brainwash the American people into hating their own government. Does that ring any bells? Has anybody got lights going off right now? Light bulbs going off right now? No. We can brainwash through technology, these cell phones, social media, satellites, nano injections, all this bullshit we're getting right now, to hate the American government. When you hate the American government, what do? You talk shit about the president. You might not fucking physically kill anybody, but you fucking, you figuratively did it. You live in America. When Trump says, yo, Nike, bring your jobs back here, Trump is telling Nike to bring your jobs so we can give more jobs to Americans, which will probably be your cousins and homeboys and all this other shit like that. So you're American. Trump's telling Nike, bring your shit back or we're going to tax you. And you diss Trump. Basically, you just talk shit and stop your worldly reputation because now you have less jobs. Because technology has just tricked you to be a dumbass. Like, I was talking to somebody the other day, a cool dude. He's just a Democrat, and he were talking about Trump and how Trump is so unprepared for this virus and this, that, or the other. And I was like, yeah, but if the Democrats wasn't fucking investigating him every day of his life by the FBI every fucking day, we might have had some shit done by now. We might have been more prepared for this virus. Just like I always loved Jameis Winston, no matter what, because Jameis Winston was a black quarterback, and we all know about what black quarterbacks got to go through. In college, Florida State, he was when his first year, he was a freshman. Start breaking all these fucking records and shit. Just like the greatest college quarterback ever, but he was black. But not only that, he had a little ability. He had the gift of gab. He had it, where he could, and he still got it, he could lift up a room no matter what. Like Obama had it, where he could just speak perfectly, and everybody. Jameis Winston got that, even though he be saying some dumb shit sometimes, but he can lift the room up. He was a phenomenal player, but they didn't like him. Why? Because white girls liked him. What did they do? Send the FBI to him every fucking week before fucking a game. Every week. Can you imagine having to go prepare for a game and get questioned by the FBI every week and succeed and win the national championship, go undefeated? You know? What was I talking? I was just talking about that's just how they work. They did that with Trump too. They sent the FBI and they sent all this other Russiagate and blah blah blah, some Russiagate shit about Russia was helping Trump get into office. Why would Russia help Trump get into office? Wouldn't Russia want to help Hillary get into office if she's already selling them uranium? But more investigations to waste more time. More fucking bullshit from the people in their own country that's ripping down their own country because they've been brainwashed like Manchurian candidates with technology to talk some bullshit all fucking day. Get on social media and talk some bullshit all fucking day. Even now, still, we're trying to fucking fight this coronavirus shit, and people are still talking shit about everything Trump does. The U.S. president, there's U.S. citizens. Still, this man could say, yo, everybody's going to get a golden Lamborghini tomorrow. You can sell it or do anything you want. Everybody in the country is going to get a golden Lamborghini. There's still people who's under this brainwashing spell. We call it Trump deranged syndrome. There's still people that say, I don't want a golden Lamborghini. I wanted a platinum Lamborghini. If you would have gave me a platinum Lamborghini, we would have been out. Everything would have been perfect in this world. But since you only gave me a gold Lamborghini, that means I still got to struggle and work for the man. It will still be some more bullshit because we have been brainwashed in this country by technology. And people who own these companies, these technology companies and these other companies that's able to brainwash us, they're not American. And they want you to be brainwashed because they want you to hate America. Because if you hate America, that means that one country that gets in the way of all one world government of sweatshops and fucking empires, that one country that stands in the way of that will go down. And we're going to trick the people into doing it themselves. So that's a final wrap up of my conversation. Because I'm no bitch. And somebody need to say it. None of our black leaders are going to tell you this. Nobody's going to tell you this. Only one dude is going to tell you. And you need to subscribe to him because he's no bitch.